Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, JaNae B series. I am JaNae B, and today I have a special guest, Whitney. This has been my best friend since the 4th grade. She is the mother of my 2 godsons. So welcome, Whitney. And today we're going to be talking about our experiences with our fathers. We have 2 different experiences, and we're just going to be sharing it. So stay tuned.
JaNae B series. I'm racing home cause I heard she got a new vlog on the way. Said I've been waiting to hear that shit Sunday. JaNae B series got it all. JaNae B series gets involved. Yeah. The only one that keeps it real on the internet. The only one that keeps it raw and always got a message. What would I do without JaNae B series? JaNae B series.
Hey guys, so like I said, we have 2 different totally experiences as far as like growing up with fathers or without fathers. This is a very serious and probably unfortunately a relatable topic to many. So I guess I'll share my experience first. Don't get me wrong, I love my dad. I was always like a daddy's girl. When I was younger, my father taught me how to ride a bike. He taught me a lot of stuff. And my parents, they were married. And it was a stage. I remember, I think they got a divorce at the beginning of my 10th grade year of high school. And I used to be like, Dad, my dad divorced me. Because I really felt like that. It's just like, it always felt like, oh, well, yeah, go with your mom. And him and my brother, I have an older brother, him and my brother just be like, super close. I feel like my father couldn't never really like relate to me. He just felt, oh well, she have finances or money, I'll give her money, she's okay. And that's this isn't to bash my dad or to trying to be like anything like that. I love my dad and I appreciate all that he has done for me and does do. But it's like a father is important to a little girl. Definitely. Both parents are both roles are really important. And when I felt like he did divorce me like that really did hurt me in a way. So it's just like, I don't know. And then back when I would like dance and stuff, he didn't really come to my dance recitals. Like my mom always supported me. It was never no question. Anything I did, my mom was like there, front row. But he'll be like, I'm there in spirit. And it's just like, is it because I'm not playing basketball? Is it because I'm not a guy? Like, what was it? So I just felt like at some point, me and my father, we didn't relate. And just like, I don't know. Still love him. I mean, I'm in my 20s now. It is what it is. You just kind of like learn to cope with it. But it makes me analyze, I guess, what we can get into later as far as like dating wise. But that's my story with my experience with my dad.
I don't know. My story is different from yours, of course. Like you said, your dad taught you how to ride a bike. I didn't get that. It's a lot of things that I missed out on. My parents were also married, but they did get divorced when I believe I was 1, maybe 2, but I'm pretty sure it was 1. And after that, I guess things just went downhill from there. So, you go through the court. Oh, you got to get her and her brother. I'm a twin. So you have to get them every weekend, every other weekend. And from about 2 till I turned 9, I just was like, okay, it is what it is. But I got to a point where he's just picking me up, dropping me off with his sister, my aunt, coming back and getting me on Sundays.
Yeah,
it's like, what relationship are we going to have or we're going to build? And then his thing was, oh, I'll take you to 7-Eleven and get you a Slurpee on the way home. Like, no, buy me some shoes, buy me a dress, like do things that I felt like a father should do. And I just did not have that. And growing up, being like in the courts, it's things that I never want my kids to go through or want them to go through or experience, and they never will. To hear your father say, I don't talk to you because you're too much like your mother, I don't think you should say things like that to your children. Or, you know, I do remember him coming to one of my dance recitals, and he brought his mom, my grandmother, and there was no reaction. Like, I remember my grandma saying, you know, you shouldn't do this, or maybe you should do something else. Like, my mom never was the type to be like, no, this not for you. I feel like when you have a child, you let them experience whatever it is that they want to do. You don't talk them out of it unless it is hurting them or harming them. But I don't feel like you should talk them out of an experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was never how I felt like he should be. And don't get me wrong, he may be a great guy, but he may not be or was meant to have kids. That's how I look at it. And I don't want to go too much into detail because I do have a little sister, and she is 11, and I do want her, she has her own idea, but I still want her to give him a chance if that's something that she wants to do. But I don't know. He, like you said, like you and him never had that relationship, but him and your brother did. That's kind of like it is with me. Him and my brother, to this day, they can go get a beer together, and I'm just like, that's not a father. He doesn't teach my brother how to be a man. I mean, of course you can't teach somebody when you were never taught. So I guess, what do? You go get a beer. I guess that's how they bond. But for me, I don't know. Like, going through high school, middle school, even elementary school, I never had that. So it was always my mom. And don't get me wrong, I gave my dad so many chances. When he met my stepmom, my little sister's mom, I gave him a chance, and he failed. When they got a divorce, he divorced me again. And my stepmom, she's never left me since then. Like, she's another mom to me, and she's another grandma to my kids. But for him, it's just, I don't know, he's just like a blank page in my book, to be honest. I don't know if that's kind of harsh, but that's just how I feel. That's just what it is. And I've talked to my dad. I want to say my first son was 6 months when we met, and we sat down and talked. I told him I forgive him, but we don't have a relationship. We never will have a relationship. It's really nothing for us to talk about. I mean, I respect him because he's my dad, but it's just not there. He doesn't know my kids. My kids will never know him, unfortunately, because I don't want my kids to be let down how I was let down. Like, you're not going to call my kids every Friday and be like, oh, I'm on the way, and it's Saturday, and you never come. Like, we're not going to go through that. So I just feel like I'm keeping them away from what I grew up with. And that's just really what it is, honestly.
That's real. Thank you for sharing that. That's deep. As far as, like, how do you think it ties into, like, it affects dating? Like, from your experience, do you think it affected you, like, dating? What?
I mean, I feel like it did to a certain extent. It let me down as far as what do I look to, or what should I look for in a guy. I know what to not look for, thanks to him. But it did let me down in some areas. But at the end of the day, I had my mom, and she kind of replaced that. Like, you never depend on anyone. Not even just a man. You just never depend on anyone. Always carry yourself. And that's my whole thing as far as relationship. Now, as far as cheating and all of that, I mean, I don't know. I guess he did let me down. So I don't really know what... I don't know. I had to figure it out for myself, I guess. Once somebody cheated, you're done. Like, that's just what it is. Or if you hurt me, if I feel like I can't trust you. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like an angel, but I don't know.
I feel like it definitely plays a part in dating. And then I feel like you kind of like, well, I can say from like my experience, you look for the love that you wasn't really given. So you kind of look for that into like a significant other, and you're like, I don't want to say daddy issues, but it's just like,
it's like pressure.
Yeah.
Like, you putting pressure on that person to replace something that you didn't have.
Like a protector,
Yeah.
or, yeah. So.
And it's kind of like you expect them to do something, and they don't really know what you want, but they're trying their hardest, and it's just, that's where it comes into play. Like, I don't know what I want you to do either, but this is what I feel, and it needs to happen. But, I mean, unfortunately, it doesn't happen the way it's supposed to, because you're missing something, and you don't really know what it is. You just have to find it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true. I just think I don't know, I can't really describe it, but it's just, it makes me question, like, I guess, like, as far as me, like, you know, being single too, it just makes me question, like, dang, is it because I need to, like, tie that back in? Is it because my relationship isn't, like, a solid relationship with my father? Is that, like, the source of it?
Like, maybe y'all need to talk.
Yeah, like, is that the source of why, you know, like, why dating is so hard or anything? But I don't feel like, as an individual, I mean, I know some females, they will have daddy issues, and they, like, will fall in love with any and everybody they date. I don't think, like, I have issues as far as, like, that, like, because, like you said, my mom also was very independent and taught me not to depend on anybody either. So when she had to do both, she did both, like. So that disappointment, it kind of, like, it faded away as I got older. And
it's just, I feel like when we get older, it's more so a trust thing. It just makes you more aware of the people that you bring around, mostly men. It makes you more like, should I trust you? Are you here for the right reasons?
Yeah.
As far as the kiddie stuff, all of that kind of, like, goes down after a while. I mean, at the end of the day, we are getting older, so I do feel like as you get older, I think it's just a trust thing. Am I going to trust you? Are you going to leave me? And I feel like we think those things because in the back of your head, it's like, my dad left me. So you're going to leave me too.
Yeah, that's very real. And it's a fear. So it's like you either really clingy or something.
You're really clingy, or you're just really distant because you don't want to get too attached. And unfortunately, a lot of people miss out on good guys because they're putting too much pressure without telling the guy why they're putting too much pressure. But at the end of the day, a lot of females don't know that they're doing this because either they block these issues, and it can be like even with their mom, it don't have to be just with their dad, but mostly with their dad. A lot of females, they don't acknowledge the hurt and the pain. And for me, I had to sit down and talk to my dad after my first son was born because I felt like I wasn't gonna be able to accept my son's father. As far as he's not a bad person, I wasn't going to accept the fact that he was going to tell me I'm never going to leave. I had to sit down and forgive my dad in order for me to move on in my relationship, because I feel like once you have a baby, how I felt, I was like, well, we're going to have this baby and you just going to leave and we're going to be on child support. And I had to sit down and, you know, talk to my dad, because that's not what I want for my kids. I don't know what parent wants that for their kid, but I think for a lot of females, if you don't sit and start to acknowledge these things, I feel like you'll never break that cycle.
That's true.
And you don't realize it's a cycle, but you just need to sit and just reevaluate your whole life. Not even when you have kids, when you're dating, just friendships in general.
Why you react to guys, or why you react to certain things, what's your triggers, just like what it is. It always is like an underlying reason for everything. So yeah, that's very real. I think that's where I'm at in my point in my life. I'm trying to figure out like bits and pieces of everything, like, oh, this is the source of that's the trigger for this. And you know, that really helps you find peace within yourself. Like at some point you can't keep blaming it on your father. So you gotta either make peace with it or try to find peace. Like, I don't know.
But I don't feel like you'll ever be at peace until you face the situation. Yeah.
And even though it can be very hard and hurtful, it is something that is healthy at the end of the day to do. So
it was very hard to sit and face my father. One, because in the back of my head, I always had this trust for him, or this feeling like he was going to come back and just willingly apologize for everything that he's done to me. But that's never happened. So when I said I wanted to talk to him, it was just mostly for me because I needed peace. And when you have kids, not saying you have to do this, but I feel like when you have kids and you have their dad in their life, I think it's best to sit down and face the situation of your past. And I feel like that's what makes better parents for both situations. Even from a guy, if he needs to sit down and face his mom, I feel like that would help me in a situation. It just depends. I guess it depends on the severeness of the relationship between the father and the daughter.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I don't even think a lot of males, like, it's easy for them to make babies. Well, not in some cases they probably not even trying to make a baby, but it's easy for them to do that. But a real man, actually being in your child's life, like,
it's important.
It's important, and I don't think that they realize, like, the impact that they really have. Like I said, little girls need their fathers. Like,
they
it's
need
important.
more than a weekend father.
Yeah.
And that's what I wish, like, our generation would understand. Like, if you were my child's father and I take you to court, I don't expect you to just come get him on Saturday. Like, pop up at his school. Like, do what you need to do to feel secure in your head. Like, I'm a good father or I'm a good mother. I just feel like our generation, we're so quick to be like, it is what it is. You got a new girlfriend. Like, I just don't feel like it should be like that. Like, I feel like when you have a baby, you should co-parent. And when you have a baby, I don't know. I just feel like everybody got to come together, or you will have issues like how we had issues. Not saying our parents couldn't sit down and talk it out. Your mom is different from my mom. My mom, she's not... That's not her. Sorry. She's not going to sit down and try to figure it out. My mom's very strong. She's very independent. She knows what she wants. And that's kind of like how I am. I'm not going to put up with too much of nothing. And I think, for me, I just got fed up with my dad. Like, I feel like you have 2 daughters and a son. And I don't know, for me, at a point, I started to realize my dad... He only wanted to be in my life when it was convenient for him. When he got a new girlfriend, oh, he's daddy now. Like, that's what I got from it. Maybe that wasn't his intent, but that's just what I took from it. Like, oh, you're going to meet this person, and I'm going to go get you some shoes. Like, just to make it seem like you're daddy of the year, when really, when y'all break up, we broke up again. Like, it's just a repeating cycle, and I wish men wouldn't do that, but unfortunately they do, and that's why us females feel the way we feel and why we act the way we act, honestly.
Yeah, it definitely has a major impact. And like I said, I don't even think they realize, like, we ain't toys. We got feelings, and we can, once we get to a certain age, we can distinguish our own thoughts in our own minds. And they'll try to be like, oh, your mom probably put that in your head, and it's like, no, you start to realize things once you get to a certain age. I start to realize, like,
I'm pretty sure, I think for any girl, once you hit like 12 and you're able to sit and think about things more and you put clues together, nobody don't have to tell you nothing after that. Because, like, for me, if you gonna tell me on Friday, like, I'm gonna come get you, I'm expecting you to come get me on Friday. I'm not where I don't know my days of the week and I'm like, oh, today's Monday, Friday's not here, when really it's Friday and you're still lying. So I feel like dads, they do it to themselves, but only to put the blame on the mother. Which isn't fair. Because honestly, in my situation, my mom, she was very patient with my father. She never exposed him to me and my brother. It was always, you'll figure it out, what you need to figure out, when you need to figure it out. And I figured it out pretty young, that I didn't want to do it no more. You don't gotta come get me. I'll stay with my mom because you're not coming to get me to spend time with me anyway. So she don't have to put nothing in my head. You already did that.
Yeah. For me, I feel like I got to a point where I just accepted it. I mean, I don't know if that's like what it is, but it is what it is.
What it is.
I just accepted it, and it didn't bother me anymore. Like I said, still respect him, still love him. That's my father. Like, I appreciate all he has done, but I just accepted it. Like, I really think for him, he just don't know how to, like, interact with me, like,
as and unfortunately, that's sad. Not saying your dad's a bad guy, because your dad's not a bad guy. But a lot of guys don't know how to interact with their children. And that's why either they leave or they pass you on to some other family member. Like, oh, I'm going to take you to my mom's house because what you want me to do with you?
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like, not saying everybody needs a parent class, but I feel like if you don't know what to do with a child, you just shouldn't make one, honestly.
But like I said, that's the easy part. People don't think, like, you know, you in that moment, you're not thinking about that. So, I don't know. It should be, I don't know, more programs, more classes, more ways, I guess, to teach people.
But I mean, you really can't teach somebody how to be a parent.
Yeah, you can't.
Because each child is different, and I can talk to you like, oh, you should do this schedule, you should do that schedule, but a child is like, I don't understand your schedule, so this is my schedule. So I feel like it's no class that can tell you what to do, how to do it. It can give you like guidelines, I guess, but it's nobody in the world that can teach you how to be a parent, point blank. I have 2 boys and they're totally different. Like,
yeah, I mean, I guess just to help, maybe. Like, try. Like, don't just give up is what I'm saying. Like, don't just be like, oh, I don't know what to do. She good with her mom. Because, no. Like,
because the mom may not be good. Honestly, like, from me being a mom, in the back of my head, it's like, okay, I had you here, where's your dad? Type thing. So I feel like for a guy to be like, okay, you good with your mom. Did you ever think about the child's mother? Like, maybe she just needs a break. Take the child to McDonald's. Like, do something. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about the guy. It's about everybody that's involved. So I feel like when guys do that, that's why we have the problem we have between women and men. Because it's always about either the female or it's just about the male. It's never about everybody in the situation.
Yeah, that's true.
And if you can't or aren't willing to sit and talk, then it will never work.
Mm-hmm.
And I never understood why guys, when you have a baby with someone and you're not together, why do you bash your child's mother or why do you bash your child's father? I never understood that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because at one point, y'all liked each other for y'all to make this baby.
Yeah.
So I never understood, or I still don't understand, why do we do that? Because even if me and my child's father break up, we will be friends.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to like each other, but in front of my kids, we going to be like best friends.
I guess different situations and scenarios cause that. Like,
I don't know. I'm not with it.
Yeah. I mean, because I know, seeing my parents, they used to argue. So I know, like, I'm that child that watched my parents argue. So when they actually divorced, the divorce didn't bother me. Like, it affected my brother, who's older. He was affected. But for me, I'm like, good. I don't gotta hear that shit no more. Like, I was okay. Because I caught on. I'm like, she not happy, he not happy. You know, like, they arguing.
They're better apart.
Yeah, so the actual divorce didn't bother me, but it's just like the fact that it's like, dang, I felt like I was left hanging is what kind of confused me and bothered me more so than anything. But, I mean, if you're not happy, like, no child is going to, like, make you stay.
No.
But it is a way, I feel like it is a way to handle things without it having to go into the court and go through a legal process. Like, you should be able to
sit and talk,
be civilized. But a lot of people can't be civilized.
But I feel like people can't be civilized because nobody is willing to own up to their mistakes and keep their word. If I came to you and be like, I'm sorry for this, but let's be parents, I'm going to pay you this and I'm going to come get my child on this day to this day, I feel like things will start to get better. If people start keeping their word. You can't sit here and be like, I'm going to send you $50 tomorrow and give you $4.50 on Friday, and then you send me the $50 and Friday come.
Yeah.
You know, because it's not, and a lot of guys think I'm sending you money for the mother, but a mother, to me, we provide food, we provide our time. It's so much more just you good with your mother. It's so much more than that.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm not, like, it is some women, some mothers that do just take their child's money. Like, that
it is.
You know, and they do spend it. So I can understand, like, why that would be, like, frustrating and stuff.
But we all, well, I don't, because I don't have a problem. But I feel like women who do that is because they spend all their money on their child. If you don't have the help, and then when you finally get some money, you need to fix yourself. Because you may have spent your last $50 on your child, you looking like whatever. And when you finally get that help, I feel like some women do take advantage of that. And in my opinion, I feel like they do have that right to a certain extent. Like, if I spend my last $50 to get my son a haircut, when his father sent me the $50 back, I'm going to get my hair done. Mm-hmm. I feel like it depends in the situation. Now, if your son's shoes is busted, but you got on some red bottoms, then you can kind of tell. But I feel like if you are the mother who's willing to spend your last on a child, I feel like you are entitled for that. That's just like them dads who come around at tax time. Mm-hmm. Like, it's the same thing. It's just a problem when women do it.
That's interesting. Any other points you think that people can relate to as far as, like, with this situation? Like,
I don't know. It's just, if nobody's willing to talk, I just don't think things will ever get better.
Yeah.
And for me, I feel like you said, like, it affected your brother. It still affects my brother. And we are so grown, and I think in the back of his head, I think he believes that they'll get back together one day.
Wow.
And it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Sorry. No. No. And I think men don't understand. You may think it's affecting your daughter, but it's affecting your son too. And people don't realize that. And that's why men it will be a repeating cycle. Because you think, oh, he a man, he all right. My daughter, I don't know what to say, so let me just leave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I appreciate you opening up and I'm being serious. Why you always gotta laugh? And telling your side as far as, like, you know, your experience with your father. Unfortunately, people definitely can probably relate to both of our stories in some sense or certain aspects. And I don't know. We didn't cry, yes. So it was good.
Because we're at peace.
Yeah, no.
At peace.
Catch me a couple of years ago, sorry.
Yeah. Back in 2012, this whole couch has been wet. Tears.
Yeah, but yeah, that was real. That was deep, and you went about it a mature way, so yeah.
I just feel like for other women who are going through what we have went through or are going through, everybody just has to be growing about the situation. If nobody is willing to communicate, then I don't know. Unfortunately, nobody will be happy. Kids will always be with their dad on this weekend, with their mom that weekend. And I feel like it should never be like that. If a kid has a recital, everybody should be there. It should be a celebration like, oh, my dad couldn't come to this one because I'm with my mom this weekend. Like, it just should be a point where everybody just comes together. And hopefully from this video, hearing us talk about it, people can, you know, sit down, talk about it, and move on. And I feel like our community and generation will just begin to get better. Honestly.
Hopefully. That's a major
or just
goal.
start making babies.
Close it. Sorry.
I mean, do something. If you don't want the cycle to repeat itself, if you're not willing to be a grown woman in a situation, you know you petty. Just don't do it.
Situation.
Just don't do it.
Be mindful who you having kids with too. That's number one.
Honestly,
because people change when babies come. So.
And that is true too. A lot of women don't realize that, like, oh, we love each other, but as soon as the baby, some men don't know how to deal with the change of a woman, and that turns them off. Unfortunately, because a woman, their body changes, their mindset changes, they're more cautious. So things that also can change, but I don't know. Until everybody's grown in a situation, like I said, things will never change. So hopefully this is the change.
Be mindful.
I'm tired of seeing it.
Yeah, honestly. I mean, like I said, hopefully they can learn.
No more single moms.
Yeah.
No more single daddies.
Yeah. But you gotta appreciate a single mom.
No, I do. My mom was a single mom.
Yeah.
All my life.
Yeah. They hold it down.
They do.
So, thanks guys for watching. Whitney, you want to tell them? She is so goofy. You want to tell them how they can reach you if they want to? No?
You know I'm private.
Oh, okay. Well, she's
private.
Sorry.
I'm a private person. If you know me, you know how to reach me. But if you know me and want to reach me, just reach her through me.
What? Am I your agent? Like,
no,
what?
but I'm just private. If I don't know you, I don't really like people in my personal space.
Okay. My bad. Well, we appreciate you coming on the show. Would you come back?
Sure. I already did what? The video?
That don't count. Sorry. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Yes, and check out the other videos. This is the 12th episode on JaNae series. So
Stay tuned.
keep up. It's going to keep getting juicier and juicier, and it's going to continue to stay real as always. So thanks. Bye.
I'm racing home cause I heard she got a new vlog on the way. Said I've been waiting to hear that since Sunday. JaNae series got it all. JaNae series gets involved. Yeah. The only one that keeps it real on the internet. The only one that keeps it raw and always got a message. What would I do without JaNae series? JaNae series.